Good morning. This is Mrs. Morales. Welcome to my 7th grade language arts class. Today we are going to be talking about writing a response literature essay for poetry. We will be using 2 poems in this lesson. Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe, which I will be modeling how to use, and also The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes, which you will be using for your independent and guided practice. Let's begin by discussing our essential question, which is going to focus our learning. Our essential question for the week is, how do I write an effective response literature essay for a poem, which can at times be very difficult. Our objective for today is to write an effective introductory paragraph. Let's begin. In the first paragraph, you must include your introduction or thesis statement. Your thesis statement must include title, author, genre, and theme. You also have 3 sentences which you must list events that occurred in the beginning, in the middle, which is the turning point of the poem, and the end of the poem. Your final sentence is a reflection of your thesis statement. Remember, in this sentence, you do not copy. You are restating what you said in your introductory sentence. Let's begin with paragraph 1. In your first paragraph, your very first sentence is your thesis statement. In your thesis statement, you must also include a tag, which is your title, your author, and your genre. You must also include your theme for that poem. Here's an example. Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe is a poem, and the theme is Love Conquers All. In this sentence, I have included the title, the author, the genre, which is the type of literature that you're using, and the theme, which is Love Conquers All. Remember, when you state the title in your sentence, you must always underline. Let's give it a try. What I want is for you to use The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes and create a sentence that you believe looks exactly like a thesis statement. I'll give you a few seconds. Okay, let me show you an example of what you could have written. The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes is a poem, and the theme is Love Lasts Forever. In this poem, I have covered all of the required elements. I have the title, I have the author, I have the genre, and I also have the theme, which is Love Lasts Forever. Okay, let's talk about your next sentence. Sentences 2 to 4 in your introductory paragraph, you must discuss what happens at the beginning, middle, and end. Just think of the events that had the greatest impact on you, the ones that you believe are pointing towards your theme. For example, use a sentence starter such as, from the beginning, it is clear. Here's an example. From the beginning is your sentence starter. It is clear that the narrator and Annabelle Lee are in love. Using the same sentence starter, I want you to attempt to write a sentence for a beginning event that occurred in The Highwayman. I'll give you 30 seconds. Let me show you an example of what you could have written. In sentence 3, I'm going to give you a brand new sentence starter. Remember, the objective here is to explain your theme by giving me one event that happened as the action changed in the poem. This is the turning point of the poem. At the turning point is going to be your sentence starter. For example, at the turning point, the angels became jealous of them. If you remember the poem of Annabelle Lee, it starts out where they were madly in love in this kingdom by the sea, and eventually the angels became jealous of their love. And that's where all the problem begins. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to use the sentence starter and create one sentence pointing at your theme for The Highwayman. Don't forget, tell me about the one event that had the most impact on you in which you feel the action changed. Okay, let me show you a sample sentence that you might have written. Okay, using the new sentence starter, I've written sentence 3, and it goes a little like this. At the turning point, Beth sacrifices herself to save the highwayman's life. If you remember, in The Highwayman, it starts out where Bess and the highwayman are madly in love, and they're planning to leave. But eventually, as they plan to leave, the highwayman has one more thing that he needs to do. So he's telling her, I'll be back by the moonlight. And unfortunately, the redcoats knew that he was coming, so they showed up at Bess's house to try and catch the highwayman as he returned for her. But Bess sacrificed herself to warn him by killing herself with a shotgun. For sentence 4, I'm going to give you some new sentence starters. We're going to use eventually, which is actually a transition word. Eventually, the narrator shows everyone that they can never separate him from his beautiful Annabelle Lee. If you remember in the poem, the narrator, although Annabelle Lee had died, said they could never dissever his soul from his beautiful Annabelle Lee, meaning that they could never separate them because they were so in love. Okay, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to tell me what you think is the closing event for The Highwayman. Okay, let me show you a sample sentence. Using eventually as a sentence starter, I've created this sentence. Eventually, the highwayman and Bess continued to meet every night in the moonlight. If you remember, after Bess sacrificed herself to save him, the highwayman was eventually killed. But they meet every night when the moon is a ghostly galleon. Even though they're gone, they're still together. Let's begin our concluding sentence. Remember, our concluding sentence is a reflection of our thesis statement. We do not copy what we've written word for word. It's a reflection, not a copy. So let me show you your thesis statement. The thesis statement that I had written was Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe is a poem, and the theme is Love Conquers All. Remember, I'm going to reflect on the thesis statement. I'm not going to completely restate it. So, in my concluding sentence, I'm going to use the sentence starter, this shows. For example, this shows that love conquers all obstacles. Did I reflect on the thesis statement? Yes, I did. Did I record it word for word or copy it completely? No, I did not. I changed it up a little so that it still reflects on what my main point was, but it does not repeat the exact same sentence. Now, I'm going to give you 30 seconds to write a concluding sentence for the highwayman. Remember, do not copy your thesis statement. Please restate the important point that you are trying to make in your thesis statement. You have 30 seconds. Okay, let me show you a sentence you may have written for the highwayman. A sentence you may have written using the same sentence starter is, this shows that love can overcome all obstacles and last forever. I stated almost exactly what I said in my introductory sentence, but I did not copy. Okay, let's put all our sentences together and take a look at our final product. Our introductory paragraph states, Annabel Lee by Edgar Allan Poe is a poem, and the theme is Love Conquers All. From the beginning, it is clear that the narrator and Annabel Lee are in love. At the turning point, the angels became jealous of them. Eventually, the narrator shows everyone that they can never separate him from his beautiful Annabel Lee. This shows that love conquers all obstacles. Okay, let's take a look at the highwayman. We put all our sentences together, and let's see how our paragraph looks. The Highwayman by Alfred Noyes is a poem, and the theme is Love Lasts Forever. From the beginning, it is clear that the highwayman and Bess are plotting to leave together. At the turning point, Bess sacrifices herself to save the highwayman's life. Eventually, the highwayman and Bess continue to meet every night in the moonlight. This shows that love can overcome all obstacles and last forever. Okay, let's take a look at the objective for today. The objective was to write an effective introductory paragraph. Did we do that? Yes, I think we did. Thank you for joining my class. For homework, I would like you to write an introductory paragraph for Robert Frost's A Road Not Taken. I'll see you next time.